Welcome to A Change of Heart podcast. I'm your host, Angel Walston. And in this space, we navigate life together. We ask the hard questions like, what is the truth you haven't told? But most importantly, we grow together. And sometimes that leads to a change of heart. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Change of Heart podcast. I am your host, Angel, for anyone if this is your first time tuning in. And today we're doing things a little bit differently because we're celebrating. It's a celebration. We're celebrating 1 year of podcasting. Studio audience, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. I am so excited. As of November 5th, we will have been podcasting for 1 full year, 3 seasons, and y'all, I love it here. I'm just very excited is not the right word. I don't know what the right word is, but I can believe, but also can't believe that we made it 1 year, 3 seasons, consistently podcasting, because when I initially set out to start this podcast, I knew that I wanted it to be something that I was consistent with. I wanted it to be something that would have longevity, but I really didn't know what it would become. And I am just so excited that we have made it 1 year at this point, 30 plus episodes. And I truly, truly, truly do hope that it has been a blessing to you all. I hope that it's been an encouragement to you all. I hope that you all have found something throughout the podcast that has encouraged you, inspired you, empowered you. And I'm just so truly just thankful for y'all who have rocked with me, who always leave comments, who always DM me, send me emails, who support merch. We're going to talk about the merch. But I'm just so grateful, so thankful for each of you. And listen, if you have not already, we're 1 year in. Leave your girl a review. You can leave reviews, I believe only on Apple Podcasts, but whatever podcast version you listen to, if it gives you the option to leave a review, please leave me a review. Let me know how A Change of Heart podcast has been blessing you, how it has helped you, how it has encouraged, inspired you, gave you some laughs. Let me know. Please leave me a review. And also let me know what your favorite episode has been of the 3 seasons. I was trying to think about this for myself, and I'm like, what episode did I really enjoy doing? And I don't know which one is my favorite because I love them all. Like, I think that they're all good. I'm biased, but I really do love them all. But I think possibly Overcoming Limiting Beliefs or Whole Healed Authentic. One of those two. I really love those episodes. So I'm going to go with one of them. And then I was thinking about, let me go ahead and give this disclaimer out here for those of y'all who may be waiting for a question of the day. We ain't even doing a question of the day, okay? This whole episode is just going to be, we're just like chit-chatting, and this is going to be a very lighthearted, we ain't really talk about anything, we'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff episode, okay? So I decided we're not going to do a question of the day. We just going to chit-chat. It's like having us some girl talk, okay? So yes, I think that one of those two are my favorite episodes. And I was thinking about who was my favorite guest. So in the year, I've had a couple of guests on here that did all amazing jobs. I really have loved the guests that I've had. They've been amazing. And I don't think it's bad for me to say who my favorite guest is, because I haven't had a least favorite per se. I have not had anyone who was a horrible guest. All of my guests have been amazing. I have loved being able to chat with you all. I will say probably, I think my favorite guest was Tavoya, and she did the episode on overcoming or healing, finding healing from the father wound. I like jacked that title all kinds of up. But I really loved her episode just because you can tell like that is her zhush, like that is her space where she knows her stuff. That's her expertise. And I just felt like she just did such a great job in that episode in general. And she just had such great energy. Tavoya and I never met a day in our lives, but it just felt like we had known each other forever. And I will say, probably 90% of the guests who have been on here, I know them personally. Like, I know them in real life. We have some form of a relationship. But Tavoya was the first guest who I had, who I had never met her before. I'd never talked to her a day in my life. And it literally felt like I had known her forever from like the jump. And she just was like super sweet, super nice. Her energy was amazing. And so I really enjoyed our conversation. But overall, like I said, I've enjoyed all the conversations with the guests. I really love I love talking to people in the sense of like one-on-one having like conversation of depth, not small talk. I hate small talk. I hate it so much. The introvert in me, I don't like it. But I considered for a moment doing a podcast with someone else just to have like conversation about things. And I'm like, I can't put nothing else on my plate. We're not doing it. So yeah. So I just wanted to share with you all those things because we made it a year. I'm super, super, super just grateful for this journey. Cheers to year 2 that we're getting ready to embark on. And I feel like, I'm gonna give y'all a little insight into season 4, which I have actually not planned out yet. So for season 3, we said heavy on the healing, okay? That thing came in heavy. And I feel like we have done so much focus on healing, reflecting, doing the inner work, healing our inner child, like going through all of this. Season 4, we're having fun, okay? I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that means, but I am committed. I think that doing inner work, self-work, reflection, all of that, it's great. It's necessary. It's not fun for the most part, but it's necessary. But I also think that if you just stay focused on how can I be better? How can I do better? How can I get better? How can I get better? It will put you in a cycle of feeling like it's never enough that what you're doing. And not saying that you should step away from self-work per se, but you do need a moment where it's like you just get to like relax, you know? You get to take a moment where everything ain't super heavy and everything's not super deep. And that's going to be season 4, okay? Because season 3 has been heavy and we have covered such topics that really just required the inner work. And I think we need to like just sit with that for the remainder of this year. And then we're going into season 4 next year, not doing that because quite frankly, I'm a bit exhausted of it. So, but I'm excited for season 4. I don't have a plan for it at the moment. I just know we're focused on fun, okay? Not heaviness, not the healing. And y'all, me being who I am, we're going to have those conversations. They're going to like come up anyways. But I'm excited for season 4 to be a little bit more on the lighthearted side and for us just to be able to like have some fun and whatnot. So in celebration of 1 year of podcasting, I want to give a gift. I want to do a giveaway for one lucky supporter. So here are the rules to enter the giveaway. Well, also, let me actually tell you what you're going to be getting. So you're going to be getting one of the sweatshirts, Be Whole, Be Healed, Be Authentic. FYI, they are on sale, shopbecomingher.com. So you can get one of these if you don't win the giveaway. But for those who want to enter the giveaway, only thing I want you to do is let me know what your favorite episode was. That's going to be the giveaway. Let me know what your favorite episode was of the giveaway. And then you have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel. And I want you subscribed following the podcast. So those 2 things, that's it. And whoever wins, I'll DM you, message you, email you, whatever you, to let you know that you won and to also let you give me what your size shirt is. So that will be the giveaway. And I'm also I'm going to add some goodies in there. Okay. So you'll just have to see it when you get it. But those are the rules to enter into the giveaway. And I will announce the winner on Sunday on my Instagram. Cool. So you'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday to enter, and I will announce the winner. So you can enter up until 5:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, and I'll announce the winner at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on that Sunday. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video. That's, like I said, kind of a whole lot of nothing, but I wanted to use this episode to somewhat be a buffer of the heaviness, the self-reflection, all of that we've been doing. It's like, let's do an episode where we don't have to think of a question of the day. We don't have to think of an answer for the question of the day. And we can just talk about like random things that we want to talk about, not really have any structure to it, but just have some chit chat. Is that cool with y'all? All right, cool. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is some of the things that I'm watching right now, because I don't currently I either have no one to talk to about this, or I only have like one person to talk to about this. So I'm going to talk to y'all about it. And if you watch these shows, I need your commentary. I need your feedback. We need to talk about it. So Married at First Sight, bruh, we're in Houston, Texas this season. And listen, I don't know if any of them are going to make it long term. Like this season it's just not good. I will say this. I'm always mindful of commenting on people's behavior when it comes to like reality TV versus like a character. So we're going to talk about Queen Sugar. That's the other show that I'm watching. We're going to talk about them. But when it comes to reality TV, like these are real people. Like they're not playing a part for the most part. This is like who they are. This is like their real life. And so I try to be mindful of that in what I say. But let me say this. I think that Michaela and Zach are pretty much the couple. Michaela and Zach and Johnny and Bao are the couples that are on the struggle bus. And Brett and Ryan, let's just go ahead and throw a majority of them in there. I just feel like when it comes to Michaela, she could be very right in something. Like why she is upset can be very valid, but her reaction to it just like makes her argument just doesn't even matter. She just has a bad habit of overreacting and responding in a way that it's like, didn't require all of that, sis. Bring that back in, that it just gets lost. And I love reading the comments on YouTube videos, and I watch a lot of like recap videos and things for it. And I've seen people complaining about like, nobody's talking about Zach and how he's wrong in this and he's wrong in that. They both wrong. Okay. Point blank in the period. They're both wrong. But I feel like Michaela's reactions, it's not that it doesn't make him not wrong, but her argument, like I was saying earlier, just gets lost. And so they're not gonna make it. Like it's a mess right now. Johnny and Bao, I really like Bao, but I feel like, I'll say this about Johnny. Not a fan of Johnny's. I feel like there have been partners on the show who have, what is the right verbiage for this? Who they feel like they're being honest with their partner. And as a result of that, they say very mean things. And I think it gets lost at times that you can tell the truth with tact. Like you don't have to be mean to tell your truth. And I feel like with Johnny, he's very mean to Bao. Like the things that he says, it's very hurtful. And I don't know for him if it's not registering as this is hurtful, or I don't think that it's not registering that it's hurtful. I think he feels like, but because I'm telling the truth, like, I'm sorry this hurts you, but this is my truth and I should tell you the truth. But I feel like it's a way that you can say things, and it just, I don't know. Houston needs therapy, like the whole season. I am rooting for Gil and Mirla. I do really like them. I think that they will say yes on decision day. I don't know if they will make it long term. I feel like one of their lifestyles, personalities, attitudes is eventually not going to work for the other person. But overall, they're literally the only couple right now that I'm like, for sure will say yes for decision day. Rachel and Jose will say yes, but I don't know. It's just this season, last season was a train wreck. This season is a train wreck, and I'm kind of over it. Moving on for that. If you watch Married at First Sight, leave your 2 cents. Moving on to Queen Sugar. So spoiler alert, if you do not want to hear about these things, if you're not caught up on Queen Sugar, fast forward this a couple bit. So Queen Sugar has exposed to me that I really struggle with forgiveness because I am still not here for Charlie and Davis getting back together. I just feel like he's done too much wrong to her. And I feel like she could forgive him and move on, but to forgive him and like move on with him and like get back into a relationship with him, I just like, I don't understand it. Long story short, for those of you who don't watch Queen Sugar, he was having like multiple affairs essentially. And he was like a big NBA player, I believe. He was some like athlete. And he was having multiple affairs. One of his mistresses she wasn't a prostitute, but I guess kind of like a call girl. I'm not really sure what you would call her. Anyways, he like dropped her off at with like his other teammates' hotel room and they raped her. And he tried to like cover it up. He lied about it, all this other stuff. Like he was just, and then he had a whole nother child who lived in the same city that was pretty much the same age as his son with Charlie. Like he just messed up. Okay. So he was real trifling, but I feel like to put them back together, it's like, really, this is what we're doing? I just feel like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like it, but we're here. I'm very upset about Ralph Angel because I feel like they have done so much character development on his character specifically over the last 2-3 seasons. Him and Darla are married now. They have a baby on the way and they have just created like this beautiful life together. Both of them have like completely reformed their lives. Like they were doing so well. And Ralph Angel is going back to doing the crap that led him in prison from season 1. And I'm just like, why? Like, why would we get to a place where he's doing so good to like bring him back to season 1? Like that just feels so counterproductive in his character development. I do, however, love how Darla is like really sticking up for herself because she's always been very like passive and fragile and very soft and slow to speak, slow to anger. And she was like, no. How dare you? Okay. So I don't know. I'm just really disappointed in what they're doing with his character, because it's like, we've done this already, Ava. We saw this in season 1. We've seen him do the bad things. He's supposed to be on the right path now. And I just feel like, I get COVID and all of that. I get how they're saying, I feel like it's painting this picture of like how all of the things with COVID that has impacted people's employment, their finances, all of that, that it can put people in a place where they relapse, where they return back to familiar habits, all of those things. But it's like, not with Ralph Angel. No, we've come too far for this. Okay. We've come too far for this. So I'm upset about that. Nova, after Nova wrote that book, I was over her. I've kind of never been on Team Nova. She's very self-righteous and I just can't. Love Hollywood. Still a huge fan of Hollywood. He does very well by Vi. But Aunt Vi, ma'am, she is always in everybody's business, okay? And I just feel like it's too much. And I don't know who can check her, but somebody needs to check her because she does too much. And the whole thing with what's his name? Who is the older man? Oh, I can't think of his name. It's the older man who was pushed down by the cops when they were doing the COVID. It wasn't the vaccinations. Or was it the vaccinations? I think it was the COVID vaccinations. And like the police came out and all of that. It's not Porter. What is his name? Prosper. Mr. Prosper. So Mr. Prosper's daughter has been like the black sheep of the town because it was assumed that she slept with Aunt Vi's husband ex-husband, when in reality, like her ex-husband was a horrible man and they've always kind of painted him out to be a horrible man. And Aunt Vi, Nova, all of them have been mad at her for this when in reality, like he tried to like rape her. And it's like, why would y'all believe him anyways, that like he slept with this, and she was 18 and he was like 40 plus, like grown. It just didn't make sense. I don't know. And so Aunt Vi's just like had this little attitude with her. I don't know. I want more for Queen Sugar, and I want this to be the last season. I really enjoy the show, but wrap it up because our storylines now, it's getting a little murky. We're doing things we don't need to do. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let Darla have the baby. Let Ralph Angel not go to prison for what he done did, even though he shouldn't have done it. And let's just wrap this up because this is a whole lot. So that's what I'm watching. Those are really the only two shows right now that I'm watching. I've heard that Queens, the new show Queens that just came out, is good. I have not watched it yet, but if you've watched it, let me know if that's worth watching. I've heard everyone talking about Squid Games. I don't think I'm gonna watch it. I don't feel like it's my kind of thing. I've heard that, I think it's on Netflix, called Maid or Maids, one of the two. I've heard that's good. I have not watched it, but one of my friends started watching it and she said it was really good. So yeah, so right now Queen Sugar, Married at First Sight are really the only things that I'm watching, and I'm trying to get some other good shows on my list of things to watch. But it's also about to be like the holiday time, so all the Christmas movies are about to come out. So that'll kind of keep me preoccupied as well. So that's it for what I'm watching. In other news, something else that I wanted to talk about was actually, I'll say that for last. Let's go back to Married at First Sight talk. So this is relevant to the conversation, yet irrelevant at the same time. So I've had a conversation with a couple of people about, do you believe in soulmates? And I've always said, like, I don't believe that there's only one person for every person, like, in this world. Like, I don't think that there is just one person for you. And if you don't end up with that one person, then you just like mess up everything for the people to come after you. I feel like that's way too much pressure that we put on ourselves that God never put on us. But I was watching Jasmine W's, she does recaps for Married at First Sight. And one of the conversations that came up with Zach actually during his meeting with Dr. Pepper, was one of the experts, was that he wasn't like, he didn't feel like him and Michaela were like meant to be or something like that. And so Jasmine W said, I don't think there's one person in his life that you're meant to be with. I believe me and my spouse, referring to herself, have made a conscious decision to stop looking. There might be other people in the world who we could possibly be happy with, but because we met each other, we made a decision to stop looking. And I thought, yes, like, I feel like that is such a, like, wrap it with a bow, perfect explanation to what I believe when it comes to soulmates. Just in the sense of, like I said, I feel like you literally can be with whoever you want to. God has given us free will. We definitely have choice. You want to make sure that you choose wisely for sure. But I do feel like we put a lot of pressure on meeting the one. And there has to be like this one person who is for us, this one person that we marry. And I agree with her sentiment of, there will be other options for you, but you ultimately meet someone and you make a decision like, okay, I'm choosing not to look anymore. Like, what I have right now, like, this fulfills me and I want to be here with you and I want to spend forever with you. And I don't feel the need to see if there's anything better or if there's anything more, but the option is there. And I think that's a really good way to look at it, in the sense of like, you're choosing not to look any further. You're choosing that this is the person that I want to be with and that this is who I want to spend forever with. And I don't know, I thought how she worded that was just such a good, like, chef's kiss. Like, it was just very like, yes, that's kind of what I've been trying to say and didn't realize I didn't have the actual language for. But yes, I feel like there will always be options and you have to choose, okay, I'm going to choose you and this is my forever person. And I'm putting all of my eggs into this basket, and I'm making a decision to not look further because this is what I want. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we put a lot of pressure when it comes to the term of soulmates and, meeting the one that's for you. And I think that as a result of us putting so much pressure on it, we lose sight of, like, you have a choice to make. Like, it's not just like, I don't know. I think as Christians, we over spiritualize the whole idea of soulmates and just relationships in general. But that was just like my thought of it. But speaking of soulmates, is a nice little segue into the last thing I wanted to talk about. So for those of you who don't know, Jeannie Mai is pregnant. And I have found this to be so interesting because I used to watch The Real. I have not watched it in a very long time, but she was so vocal about the fact that she did not want kids. Like, she was previously married. She's married to a different person now, but she was previously married. And she said, like, from day one, she told her husband at the time, like, I don't want kids. He was fine with that at the time. The way that it kind of came across, ultimately they divorced because he ended up wanting kids, and she still was very much so like, this is not something that I want, and I don't want to hold you back in that sense. I think it later came out there were some other things, but overall, that was kind of like the picture that was painted. And she remarried to rapper Jeezy, and here she is pregnant. And I was very interested in knowing, like, what changed her mind. And so for those of you who listened to my episode, I'm pretty sure it's like what life has taught me. I'm pretty sure it was that episode. I shared that where I am as of today, I'm in a space where I don't have a desire to have kids. But I've kind of always been like that. I have said, and I said in that episode, and I still maintain it, I'm open to changing my mind in that. I'm not saying like set in stone, I will never have kids. I'm not saying that. I am, however, saying as of today where I am, I don't have a desire to have children. I do feel like I can live a very much so fulfilled life and not have children. I don't feel like if I were to leave this earth not having children, that I'd be like, that was something I really wanted to do. If I have a kid, I don't think that I'm going to resent that per se, but where I am right now is just not a desire of mine, but I am open to my mind changing on that. So I shared that because when I heard that Jeannie Mai was pregnant, I was like, tell me more. And so I thought it was very interesting because one of the things that I saw in an article was that she said something along the lines of like her current husband made her feel safe to bring a child into this world. And I was like, whoa, like that is such a powerful statement to say, like, this person made me change my mind in a sense about having a child because he created a space where I felt safe to be able to do so. And even in like reading that, I thought like, that's beautiful. Like, that's amazing. I love that for her. But there was also kind of like in my head, it's like, but I feel like there's more to it. Like, I feel like there was something that changed for you. And I'm very curious to like know what that was. And so she did a whole video. I'll link it in the description box for anybody who cares. But she did a whole video on her YouTube channel just talking about what changed her mind. And the video itself is worth watching. I don't think it's for me to spoil it, but spoiler alert. She pretty much talked about, she shared before that she was molested when she was younger. I believe it was by a family friend or something, and her mother didn't initially believe her. And I don't even know if it was a matter of her mom didn't believe her or like her mom didn't do anything about it when she told her. And she pretty much said that she felt like she could not protect her child. If she were to have a child, she could not protect her child from like what she ultimately wasn't protected from as a child. And I'm like, that's heartbreaking. Like, that's such a sad thing. I said we weren't doing heavy, but here we are. And I don't know. I just thought that was just like such a very like sad and sobering thought for sure. But she said, like, just kind of having the conversation with her now husband, who he also was at a point where it was like, he has his own kids. And I think his kids are grown, if I'm not mistaken. And both of them were like, when they got together, they were like, not really into kids. And along the way, like she was saying, like, as they both healed, as they both like went through this journey of like becoming better people, better adults, all of that, and just healing their past traumas, they were like, hey, I can see this, like, let's do this. And here we are. And so like their pregnancy was like intentional. Like it wasn't like a whoopsie daisy, here we are. It was an intentional pregnancy. Like they were trying to get pregnant. And I just felt that so interesting and so just, I find that very beautiful. And let me say this. I know there are people who say like when women say, use your words, Ange. When women say they don't want kids, I know there are people who say, oh, you haven't met the right person. And I know people have good intentions when they say that, but that feels very dismissive as well. So just be mindful of that. I'll just say that. But I know people say that, but I also know of people who, not personally, but I've heard people talk about being married and not wanting kids. And that's for the same for like both partners. And I still think, leave it open to change your mind for sure. But I do feel like, I don't know, I just thought it was so beautiful just hearing her be excited about having a child and talking about like what changed for her and what like really, I don't know, like what just like the fact of like hearing her say like my husband made me feel safe to bring a child into this world, knowing what she's talked about in regards to her childhood and how she didn't feel protected and how she didn't feel safe. Like that's just so beautiful. I just think that's so like love is so sweet. So it's just chef's kiss. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting just hearing her talk about that and just also being very open. And something that I loved was she was saying that although like she has changed her mind, she thinks that it's still really important to like honor women's choice to not have kids. Like if someone says they don't want to have kids, they don't have to give an excuse. They don't have to give a reason. And I thought that that was really good that she emphasized that as well. But I'm always curious about certain things when, people change their mind in such a drastic way from something that has a very long lasting, impactful, an impactful decision that is being made in regards to their life. And so that was very interesting for me as someone who is in a place where it's like, kids are not something that I have a desire for at the moment, to hear someone who also felt like that, but to see them in a space where it's like, but here we are. And just hearing like her reasons for it. And I will also say, I'm keep going back to this thing of her saying that her husband made her feel safe, which I do think is important. But in her video where she talks a little bit more about it, she also like it wasn't just a matter of like, oh, I met this amazing man and he changed everything for me. It also was about her and her evolving and her going through a healing process. It wasn't just about, I met this man and he changed my mind. Like it wasn't that. Like she got to that point with no pressure from him. Not, like I said, both of them were on the same page as far as not wanting to have kids. And she ended up being the one to be like, actually, I see a family with you and that family does consist of kids. And I don't know how I feel about that, but here we are. And so I don't know. I just think I love hearing stories like that. I don't know. I just love hearing just how we can have plans for ourselves and God's like, okay. And I do think that it does make a difference when you have someone who you feel safe with for sure. But I also think it comes with like you evolving and things like that. And I think it's important to give people space to evolve and to give people space to change their mind without judgment or critique. Like life is written in pencil, kind of. Not really, but kind of. So yeah, I say all of that to say I was just very intrigued by her story. And I really love just how she just was still very open about the fact of like, I did not want this. I was very open about not wanting this. And here we are. And I love that for her. I wish them the best. I hope that everything goes well with her pregnancy and all of that. So yeah, so as I said earlier, this is going to be a video about a whole bunch of nothing, but we're going to talk for a bit. So here we are with our little girl chat here. But I hope that you all enjoyed having somewhat of a lighthearted conversation that wasn't heavy on the healing and that wasn't super reflective. We could talk about other people's lives and not have to look inward for 1 week. 1 week. We'll be back on it next week. But just to be able to like, have some girl talk, have some chit chats, catch up on the latest TV show drama, and just kind of relax and not have to heal our inner child this week. So I hope that you all enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to enter the giveaway. Enter the giveaway. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to leave me a review. Don't forget to do all the things. And don't forget to be whole, be healed, be authentic, and buy the merch. Thank you so much for tuning into A Change of Heart podcast. I hope you were encouraged, and please take a moment to share with a girlfriend, and don't forget to download the episode. Lastly, I would love to connect with you. You can follow me on Instagram at Angel C. Walston and at A Change of Heart podcast. Have an amazing week, and don't forget, be whole, be healed, and be authentic.